Hello, hello. Welcome to ARMA League Season 2 Final Series Hanchans 3 and 4. As a quick reminder of the rules before we get started, we are playing with red fives on, no bankruptcy, head bump in place of double or triple run, round in manga, no abortive draws, 30-10 UMA with an Oka at a 30,000 point return. I am J-Cakes, and today we are joined by Unistar from Unistar Fan Club. Hello. Hello? Hello? Oh, they might not be at their computer right now. He'll come in a second. But as a quick reminder of the standings before we get into things. Ooh, there we go. So as a quick reminder of the
Hello.
Oh. Unistar
I was
from
supposed to
Unistar.
talk, I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm here.
Yes. Hello, Unistar from Unistar Fan Club. Thank you
It's
for
me.
joining us. Thank you for joining us
Yay.
on the stream today.
I'm very excited to join the stream and talk about the game.
Yes, I'm excited that you're here. A quick look at the rankings before we head into this set of Hanchans. We do have Atsuki in first place on 305 points. Dark Flame Curse Totoro in second place on 87.95 points. Powerpuff Boys in third place at 81.15 points. And Water in the Fire in last place on 22.3 points. So this is going to be an exciting one. It's going to be very, very, we're gonna see how the final series evolves, see how things end up going, and really just end up seeing how each of these teams continues in trying to play for that first place. Atsuki is definitely the pull away group after the first two sets of Hanchans, but that's not to say that the other teams are unable to make it, obviously. So to see if anyone plays especially greedy for first place, or just how these play styles really evolve.
This is the clash of all the most interesting players of the tournament I've seen so far. Like everyone in this match is ranked on 10 hole. Wow.
Oh, okay. Well, we do enter into East 1 with Veggie from Atsuki in the East seat, Miku from Powerpuff Boys in the South seat, Novisa from Water and the Fire in the West seat, and AKTK from Dark Flame Curse Totoro in the North seat. Zora is the North. And what do we see around here? Probably the most interesting hand is Novisa's already shaping up to Shanten for Tanya Pinfu, maybe Sanshoku as well if they draw very well, but they have to draw very, very well to get that shape.
Oh, wow.
Veggie, on the other hand, with two completed shapes, but also two awkward shapes, so they need to draw particularly well in order for this hand to work out in their favor. Miku also with a pretty interesting hand, potential for 6-7-8 Sanshoku. And wow, does draw the 8 pin, so is very, very close to that 6-7-8 Sanshoku. Will they drop the Dora at this point? And they do decide to drop the Dora, focusing on that Tanyao and not hoping too much that they'll draw the other Dora. And
that is the most straightforward and best cut, probably.
Yes, I think I agree with that. AKTK kind of is carrying a bit of garbage, unfortunately. Not very many good shapes or anything like that. Ooh, unfortunate for Veggie, does backfire on the discard. Immediately during the 7th.
If he cuts the Dora, he could be waiting for the 8 or 9 of Sozu, but it's risky.
No, they would end up waiting for 3-6-9 so if they cut the Dora instead of 8 so and had drawn that 7 so. We do see that Veggie does get into Tenpai after a 9-pin draw for a 9-pin 9 so Shabo, but they've elected not to maybe trying to get the Pinzu, which is
one away from Itsu.
Yes, exactly. How about the other players, especially Novisa, who keeps having this very, very impressive Ishanten, well, Tanya Pinfu. It's gonna always end up on a very, very good weight. Miku also still struggling to try and get their Tanya Pinfu Sanshoku along. They do decide to cut the 4 pin in place of going for a headless Ishanten for a head in the 6 Sors. That's interesting. And 1-2-3 Sanshoku is being created alongside here for AKTK. Man, today it seems to be at least this hand seems to be the hand of Sanshoku.
Wow.
Ooh, after a Aka 5 so draw, we do see a Haragiri Richi switching out the Aka 5 so for the normal 5 so.
Richi Dora.
Yeah,
this is nice.
Absolutely. On a sumo, it will be a Mangan. But even running it will be 7700. And AKTK is in a lot of trouble there. He's posturing to drop that 9 so very quickly.
To progress the hand, the 9 so is coming out.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
And it's Tsuji, so it's risky.
Oh no, that's
which comes first?
Oh, okay, 9 man. Okay. Avoids it for a turn.
One more turn.
Yep, avoids it for one turn. But if they draw any more, if they draw any, okay. If they draw any more progress, it's very unlikely they'll make it. And unfortunately,
no more safe tiles, unfortunately.
Yeah, reach door to Ura 2 for Veggie. Sends their hand up to a Mangan. Very, very nice start for them. A 12,000 point start, and wow, Veggie must be smiling after that one.
This is not the hand you want to deal into.
Well, the Ura 2 definitely put the nails in the coffin in terms of
The Mahjong gods have spoken.
Exactly, the Mahjong gods have spoken. So we enter into East 1-1. Dora is the 8 man. We have a completed meld in the 7-8-9, a pair in the 5 pins, and a Entotsu for edgy, but overall a little bit of a cheap hand. A pretty interesting hand for Miku with a lot of Ryankans, but has a Penchan and has a pretty nice shape in the Pinzu, but it's got a bit of work to do, unfortunately, especially with that 7 man actually all being dead, unfortunately. And we see no Visa edging towards cutting the 1-2 man. Maybe they are tempted to go for the Sozo Honitsu, and in fact, drawing the 3-so makes the Sozo Honitsu very, very likely and possible. Hatsu Honitsu would be a nice 3,900 point hand if they decide to go in that direction. Maybe if they draw the 8 man, though, they will just give up on it, but it doesn't look like the case. And AKTK already waking up with a Dora Anko in there. They're going to go for Tanya and Dora 3, and that is definitely the hand you want to pick up after you delve into a dealer manga.
Senpai.
Senpai, and does decide to take the Richi on the Kanchan 8 man. Unfortunately, not known to them. Their weight is dead already. So this is going to be a rough situation for Visa unless AKTK or Miku decide to cut it, which does not seem very likely, all things considering.
The dealer is also in Senpai, but no Richie.
Not Roundman Tenpai.
Ooh,
They may decide to reach here.
this might be Richie.
No, they decide to Dama.
No.
Okay. And a Tuso is drawn for Miku, putting them onto Dora Tanki as well. Wow,
Both
wow,
players
wow,
waiting
wow.
on Dora.
Yes.
And there's none of it.
Yeah, no Visa waiting on Dora, which is dead. Miku waiting on Dora Tanki, which is also dead. The most live weight here is Veggie, but will Veggie reach their weight into 2 people? Oh,
Veggie has all the power now.
Oh, unfortunate they can't take that win on the 4-man. And they do continue to Dama. I do wonder why. I guess they're afraid of dealing into these 2 players, but that would have been 2 wins in a row. So that would have been a win. Oh, maybe not, but it seems very difficult to see how we make this hand into something else. So yeah, it looks like Veggie is not really playing their hand. Very sure. Oh no! Oh no! Oh, okay, but they can elect to cut the 1. Okay, no.
Incredible! It's Tanky.
Yeah, they could have elected to cut the 1 pin, waiting for a Pinfu on the 4-7 pin. However, they didn't decide to do that. Now they're waiting on the Tanky 6 pin. I just noticed it. Wait, what?
It was fully 10.
It was a fully 10 Tanky that simmered, and AKTK got to Tenpai waiting for the 6-9-so, but it could only win off the 6-so since it's Tanyao. But that was a weird hand. I don't know what quite happened.
There's 300 IQ right there.
They knew exactly what was coming. So East 1-2, we see another Dora bomb from AKTK holding 4 Dora. Veggie here looks like they can go for Manzu, Honitsu, or Chinitsu, but they will need to get rid of that 4-so, which they may not be willing to do. 2 Dora for Miku, and some pretty nice shapes to go for like a Reach Tanya Pinfu Dora 2. And a Haku pair there for no Visa can choose to pawn the Haku off if offered and pass the hand cheaply. But does elect to skip it. Maybe no Visa doesn't really want to risk themselves on such a cheap hand.
They're also just 2 away from Chitoitsu, which became 1 away, which is interesting. Not the hand you want to be stuck with at this stage of the game.
Chitoi is not a hand I like very often as well, so I do agree with you that as few times as possible I want to be stuck with Chitoi. We see a 5-so Saki Giri there for AKTK, probably acknowledging they have enough Dora anyways and don't want to end up dealing in, but it would be kind of sad if they cannot use that Aka 5 pin and they've reduced their hand down. Oh wait, sorry, there was the 4-so. I thought there was the 5-so. Alright, sorry, they got rid of the 5-so because it's my mistake. 6-so draw is very, very good for Miku. puts them into Ishan 10 for Tanya Dora 2. These are 3 man or the 3 pin 4 pin. Looks like Visa is committing to this toy, not choosing to keep the 7 pin and maybe go for a toy or a Sananko or Suanko kind of thing. Ishan 10 for Veggie needs a 3-6 pin or a 2-5 so. Oh, very nice 7 star there for AKTK, puts them into an ideal Ishan 10 for Infudora 2.
Lychee Pinfudora 2
Yes.
with Zumoela is probably even Hanema. Wow.
4 pin is offered to Miku, who does decide to take it and pawns immediately for Tenpai. For the Kanchan 3 man for Tanya Dora 2. Not as big as it could be, obviously, but it's very nice. And especially it is AKTK is in a lot of trouble if they decide to Sakigiri that 3 man or get into Tenpai, which they do, dealing into 3900 into Miku, moving us on from the East 1 round into East 2.
Very delicate game.
Very, very, very. So, in East 2, we have Dora 4 so, and we see that Miku has picked up a pretty monstrous hand with 2 Dora and very easy Dora usage of the 4. Chun is offered again to Novisa, who decides to pass it, probably hinting at their playstyle. They don't really want to open for cheap, but they will take the second one, as they don't want to literally kill their hand, I'm guessing. Yep. And it looks like they get into an I wait for the Penchan 3 so for Chun Dora 1. Unfortunately, the 3 so is dead in the wall. But there is a chance that AKTK gets get rid of it, or Miku gets rid of it if they draw the 1 so or 4 so. Oh, these are upgrades to Chun Dora 2. And
spectacular.
Yeah, and also a big thing is that Miku. Okay, no. I was saying Miku drew the 2-man, which means that they may not have to drop the 3 set for Tenpai. Unfortunately, AKTK progressed their hand forward and dealt the 3 so dealing into Novisa's Chundoro 2, another 3900 point hit. Man, AKTK has been taking some hits this Hanchan so far. It's been quite brutal, unfortunately.
This is Mahjong.
This is Mahjong. So, as we enter into East 3, Dora, dealership to Novisa and the Dora being the West, what do we see around us? Veggie not really with anything good.
The
AKTK
dealer
not
has a
really
pretty clean
reaching.
hand with 1, 2, 3, and 6, 7, 8 already completed.
Yes, I agree with that. The only unfortunate thing about the dealer's hand is it's quite cheap. Very often that ends up being a Richi Pinfu.
Indeed. And to the opposite of the dealer, we can see a hand that looks very similar to Junchang and Chanta. With 1289, 1289 Hatsu.
Mm-hmm. It would be about if, but it would be about if Veggie would be willing to go for that, since Chanta or Junchan is quite difficult to complete, as you always end up in fairly bad slash.
Exactly. But if they do go for it, it could be a very expensive hand. But considering the point situation, it's probably not really something to go for. I'm not sure. How does the 7 is? No, nah.
I'm just looking around trying to see. Hatsu is offered to Veggie, who does decide to take it, even with an awkward hand. They're choosing to try and play it a little bit straightforward and end this hand without any shenanigans. 4-pin draw for Novesa puts them into a headless Ishan 10. However, on a 5-8 so or a 2-5 man draw, it will be an awkward hand in.
It is quite awkward, but if they have the time to draw more before anyone else wins, it could become a Mentan ping. And self-draw with Tanyao and Pinfu. Potential with the if the 1 pin gets out. Oh, keeping a chance for Chanta. Interesting.
3-pin is drawn by Miku, who can elect to cut the Shah and have a very wide Tanyao, maybe even Tanyao Pinfu Ipeiko. Oh, I guess Pinfu would be hard. Tanyao. Oh, wow. They're not choosing to go for the headless. They don't want to get rid of the West yet. So they're electing to go for something a little bit safer and allows them to draw the West and end up on a two-sided way with including two. I do wonder about that decision since it does cleave off a few tiles. Not too many. I think you mainly lose the 3. But you also lose a 6-man or 7-man. No visa. Oh, very nice reward. Miku did make that lower efficiency play explicitly for this draw, and it got rewarded for them. So now we do see that Miku is in Tenpai for Ricci Dora 2. And immediate Chi on the 2-man for no visa and leaves them in Tenpai for Tanyao only. 5-8 bamboo. He waits on the wall for each of the players. 4, 7. Oh, unfortunate red 5 draw, and they do deal it into Miku, dealing into Ricci Dora 3. Ura? No Ura, but oh, that is quite a brutal hit for no visa, unfortunately, and it will put them quite far away from first place. East 4, Dora is the 4, so very nice shapes here for Veggie, especially on that 7-man draw. Fairly nice looking shapes there for Miku. Could be a Itsu Pinzu. Pinzu Itsu kind of.
We have not entered South and we already have point gaps. That means anyone could aim for a big hand.
Yes. Sorry, just give me a second. All right, someone was commenting on the quality of my mic filter, so I just adapted a little bit. Hopefully that'll help.
CG is into Tenpai already.
Yep.
And quick Ricci.
Quick Ricci waiting for the 2-5 pin for Ricci only, but very importantly, it tries to help shut down AKTK's hand.
Indeed.
AKTK, who is Chitoi Ishanten at this point.
The alternative would have been waiting for the 3 or 4 of Pinzu to get into shovel for reply, but that was very nice.
Very
on
nice.
The red.
Very nice. Ipats Tsumer on the red 5-pin. Reach Ipats Tsumer Dora 1, 2,000, 4,000. And hey, look,
from
that's
1,000 to manga. Very interesting.
Yes, and looks like Veggie just continues to ride this flow. Look at the insanity of this opening hand. This hand is gorgeous and very expensive. However, we do see that Miku could play spoiler since they have the Haku Anko, so they might be able to call down and end the hand a little bit cheaply.
Who is going to stop the deer? The deer has a Sanshoku on the horizon.
Interesting decision to chi this. Oh wait, sorry, not that interesting. Veggie does decide to chi the 6-0 rather than turning their hand to be like a Tanyao Pinfu Sanshoku, Dora 3. They're selling for Tanyao Dora 3, which is fair enough, especially on a 12,000 point hand.
Veggie is just screaming they want to win. It's determination.
So
a hand with 2 Dora, potentially Tanyao, or even if they get a chi on the 6th pin, is immediately got Yaku.
We see Miku has Tenpai waiting for the Penchan 3-man for Haku Dora. Will end up being a Dora 2.
Dora 2, yes.
Ricci here for no visa, waiting for the 2-5 so for Reach Tanyao Pinfu Dora 1. Oh, unfortunately, they draw the last 3-man, which is round off by Miku. Miku winning Haku.
No one was
Dora
respecting the Ricci.
It did seem like both of the players were definitely pushing into the Ricci a lot. So,
Very heated battle.
Unfortunately, Visa wasn't able to win that battle. Although Veggie waking up with another monster hand. Oh my god. Look at that. Two
Double
Dora,
Dora.
Tanya,
Potentially
Pinfu.
Pinfu with Hideko.
Yep. Oh, but unfortunately,
Oh,
not looking away on time, looks like Visa finished their hand faster for Arichi Pinfu, waiting for the 1-4 bamboo. And yeah,
oh
it's
no.
cheap, but it is very likely that Veggie will end up just cutting into it, especially if they draw into Tenpai.
It is
Oh.
cheap, but it's also very big in terms of the fact that Veggie has this hand. Oh no.
Oh. Unfortunate Veggie wasn't able to cash in this hand. Richi Pinfu. Ura 2? Very big Ura 2 sends Novi's hand up to a manga, and all of a sudden, Miku is very much in striking distance of first place. Yeah, Miku does not need many points to catch up. However, it is Novi's dealership, and they've taken that Mangan, so if they can get 1 or 2 wins here, they may be able to win, to get first place. And their hand is a little bit cheap, unfortunately, right now to get that to be a convenient thing, but they do have Itsu chance, so that if they draw a 3-man or a 1-man, they could have a very expensive hand. Ooh, on that draw though, they're more likely to wait for the 3-6-9 pin, which they do decide to do, waiting for 3-6-9 pin for Richi Pinfu, Dora 1, Ipats Tsumo! Huge win for no visa. Reach Ipats Tsumo
Hanchans is the strongest way. There's no way around it. Ura
One
or
Ura!
Hanema.
Oh, sends it up to a Hanema, and that puts no visa all the way up in first place. Absolutely.
It's not over.
It's not over. Exactly. Never count out someone until their dealership is over. And that dealership was not over. A very, very nice win for No Visa as we enter into South 3-1, where No Visa picks up another monster hand already. Oh, not monster, but it's already Ishan 10, which is huge. And it's Tenpai. Waiting for the 3-6 mana, they decide to take it, which they do.
Oh,
so,
no.
3-6
Everyone
mana.
is also very close to Tenpai.
Who's got close to Tenpai?
Everyone is close except AKTK. Oh, one of the freaks are gone.
Yes, but they do know that it's the. Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter at that point. Richi, Tsumo. No Uradora, but 1,000 points all is a very nice way to just start padding your lead a little bit. As we enter
At least
South.
growing.
Yes, at least growing a little bit as we enter South 3-2. No Visa doesn't have that stellar of a hand this time around, but it's not bad. AKTK is kind of not with a very good hand, unfortunately. Not really much they can do about that one. Veggie with 2 Hatsus. It's a bit cheap, but it can shut down the hand and move it forward to South 4. And Miku, unfortunately, just has a very awkward hand. No way to get open Yaku easily, and not very efficient.
Veggie would have been a lot more happier if they got this hand earlier when they had the lead. The lead is gone and is really not sure how to progress like this.
I agree. Yep, you're absolutely correct. It does seem like Veggie is probably conceding to the 1,000 or 2,000 point hand, thinking that if you can get a 1,600 point hand, you can your goal for the next hand is still very reasonable. Like it doesn't require that much
Indeed.
effort. That much effort
And
to make the first place.
they could still utilize the Dora, the 4 pins, or the red 5 Manzu and 5 Pintu. It's not exactly the cheapest
Wow.
if they draw the right things.
Very aggressive discard from Veggie. Veggie cheating the 4-man, but cutting the 8-man. Not really to take the Kanchan 7-man Tenpai, but instead wanting to build out of the block. And they do immediately get rewarded for it. Now waiting for the 3-6-9 pin for Shadora 1. Can pawn this. And they pawn it cutting the 4 pin.
They cut the Dora. I would have waited on the Dora. I'm not sure why.
I'm not sure why they did that either.
They're far better than me, so I don't know.
I don't know why they did that, because before the hand was the same value but with more weights. Now it would have been a Mongan Sumo!
The Dora came to help him.
The Korra came to help him. But yes, I think that the pawn into cutting the 4 pin makes your hand both the same value with worse weights. because before you were waiting for the 369 pin, whereas now you're waiting for the 5-8 pin for the same value, which is not good at
Maybe
all.
he's trying to trick his opponents into cutting the weight for him. So pins now seems very cheap.
Maybe. If anything, the Pinzu is probably a lot more expensive, considering that Veggie had called off the Hatsu and cut the 4-pin, which probably gives an indication of something around the 4-pin.
Miku is not taking a 10-5. Very, very careful with the pins.
Yep. Yeah. And, oh. Miku, what are they planning to do? Cuts the 5, so it looks like they're soft folding. And 8-pin does come out from Novisa, dealing into Sha Hatsu, a 2,600 point swing, which then re-swings Veggie into first place. So now Veggie is in first and Novisa's in second place. However, Novisa does only need a 1,000 point hand, which is very attainable on that Haku pair. Miku on the right here, not with a very good hand at all, but it could be expensive enough to overtake on a Chanta or something to that degree.
Novisa is going in for the kill. Novisa and Veggie is in a spot where if they win, they win. They don't need to worry about the points.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, this is going to be a very, very valuable 1,000 point hand if they can get it off. So we'll have to see what happens. Ishan 10 here for the dealer, though. Very scary dealer hand. Very scary hand there for the dealer. Richie pin Fedora 1. Visa would not like to deal into that, but I don't think Visa is thinking too much about safety at this point. Still Ishanten for no Visa. Tuso draw for Miku puts them 2 Shanten away from some sort of Chanta shape, which they may not choose to call if they don't want to, if they want to get enough value to go up correctly. 2-pin.
Miku is not confused. They could go for the Itsu on Sozu, or they have the Chanta. Both could be big enough to overtake.
Absolutely. Two-pin being held by Novisa. Does decide to cut the 7-so, switching their hand to a Kutsuki Ishanten on the 4-pin and the 4-so. 5-pin is drawn for Veggie, which is Tenpai on the Kanchan 7. Oh, yeah. Kanchan 7-man Tenpai. For Tanya Dora 1. 2 7-mans already used up, but we can see that there's no use for the 7-man for Novisa nor AKTK, who will both cut it very quickly. Unfortunately, Miku does need that 7-man, so if they draw it, they will use it.
Or they could wait further for the 3 of pins, 6 of manzu, or 8 of manzu for potential Sananko on Tsumo.
Maybe. Have to see how the hand progresses. Tenpai there for no Visa, waiting for the Kanchan 5-pin for Haku only, which would be enough to get them first place. However, 5-pin is already dead. There are already 0-5 pins in the wall, and it's very unlikely that either Veggie nor AKTK would cut the 5-pin. So, okay, 8-so is cheed off. AKTK now pushing towards K10.
The 3 of pins is also dead, so they can't change their weight to like 2-5 either.
Yes. Yeah. So it does look like Visa will be slightly swimming on dry land, unfortunately. It does look like that this is probably Veggie's game to win. Ooh, 2-man. Oh, it will not deal in, since there is no Yaku there for AKTK. Ishan 10 there for... Oh, Oh, very nice Simo there for Veggie.
Oh,
Tanya
I
out
was going to say
Simo.
this could become a game where Veggie folds and lose on no 10 penalty, but they won, so there's no point going about it. They won. Congratulations.
Yes, good job on Veggie to snatch up that win. And we do have Veggie in first place, Novisa in second place, Miku in third place, and AKTK in last place. Let's see if we can bring up Veggie for an interview.
Veggie, after losing their lead, reclaims the first place and keeps it. Very amazing.
Yep, absolutely. Good job on Veggie for ending in first place in that Hanchan. I don't know if... I'm just waiting for Veggie to see if he'll respond or not.
Hey, seems you're getting him.
Just gotta wait for him to join the call. Alright. Hello, Veggie. Welcome to the interview. Congratulations on your win today.
Thank you.
Oh, crap. One sec,
Welcome.
sorry. Before we get into it, was there any points in the Hanchan you wanted to talk about?
I don't know. Second hand is pretty stupid.
This one?
The East, yeah, this one.
So bring us through your mindset right around here, I guess. So, was there any reason why you didn't feel like you wanted to reach here, but still wanted to risk the 3 month?
Honestly, like with the Ricci already on the table, and I've already won, the previous hand with Mahjong, and I just didn't really feel like I wanted to put myself into a position where I could deal in and then immediately lose all the progress. So I just sort of sat and I was like, well, if I sumo, whatever.
Okay. Fair enough. Something to note in this hand, which I thought was a little bit weird, was that the one pin was safe at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah. Okay. I think you could have maintained a pinfu.
Better.
Yeah, a pinfu tenpai on a one pin drop, which would have been 100% safe. That's all. But it was very nice that you managed to get the 6-pin win, and overall just managed to get some very, very nice big hands.
Yeah. This is lucky, I think. Like, I can't really attribute it to anything else but luck.
Oh, well, it happens. It's the game that we have chosen to play. Unistar, did you have any moments in the Hanchan that you wanted to ask Veggie about?
I really like the hand where they called on what I think could have been a closed chanta. I think it's around East 3.
Okay. This one?
Yeah, this one.
Okay.
I would not have called Hatsu, but I understand calling it.
Okay.
Where if you take the speed and just end the game, it could be advantageous. This is a hand where if you keep it closed, potentially if you draw the 4 of pins, there are 6 blocks with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, with 6 blocks, either of the blocks filling in first could mean dealing one of the less useful blocks and progressing the hand in an exotic manner. And even if you don't do it, there is a chance of getting just a normal big hand. It's interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Again, like at this point, I'm more worried about, I guess, speed and trying to just finish my hands. So yeah, like the Chanta or anything like that would have been nice, but when the Hatsu was off, and I figured out, well, why not? And we'll see what happens.
Yep, fair enough.
Very nice situational play. Otherwise, this would have been played a lot more differently, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations on your win. Very good job, and a very nice another first place for Atasuki. It definitely pads the lead for their team. So very great job.
Thank you.
The team leader is scoring.
For now, but there's still plenty of Mahjong to be played, of course.
Indeed.
So I do not know if we're starting early. I don't think we're starting early. I will. The default position is that we will start the next Hanchan on the hour. So do stay tuned for the second Hanchan for the day. If we come back a bit early, then you know what, that'll be a nice little early start for us. So we will be right back.
We'll be right back.
Hello, hello. Welcome back to ARMA League Season 2 Final Series, Hanchan 4. As we enter into the Hanchan, we do have Ozbol from Atsuki in East Seat, Forte from Water and the Fire in the South Seat, Wallaby from Dark Flame Cursed Totoro in the West Seat, and Miku from Powerpuff Boys in the North Seat. So,
Wow.
What's up?
Huh.
Okay. It's going to be exciting to see how this Hanchan turns out. We did see that Atsuki took another first place, which does put them into a commanding lead at this point of the series. But of course, with such a top-heavy Uma, there is still quite a few things that could happen to the scores to allow each of the players to progress, essentially. So we're going to have to see what happens here, especially how many points each of these players can gain. So, starting? Yes, there we go. We enter into the Hanchan with Dora being the 5-so and Ozbol waking up with a very, very big hand over here. Forte also have got a pretty good hand, pretty big hand with 2 Dora. And very nice shapes there for Wallaby. East pair here for Miku is a pretty nice shape. So overall, we're in one of those really nice situations where everyone's got a fighting hand and they can really try to beat each other up and see how far they can take this Hanchan, if they can either snatch an easy win or get a really big win. Dora is 6-man is cut by Forte. Forte choosing to keep both the South and the Green Dragon. 8-so drawn for Ozbol. Haku is cut.
Ozbol gives off the 3 of Manzu Ukire for 5, 7, and 8 of Sosu, which is very clean considering one of the 3 of Manzu is dead.
If they come at 9-so though, they would still have the 5-8-so Ukere. So they really just exchanged the 7-so for the 3-man Ukere on that cut. Oh, sorry. They exchanged the 7-so for the 1-man... Sorry, for just the 3-man Ukere. So it is just about whether you see either 3-man or 7-so being more available. As we continue forward, each of the players are still trying to edge their hands a little bit closer. Yep, 4-pin is a very nice draw for Miku, puts them into Ishanten. For Ricci, well, it depends on what they draw, but they could go for Ricci East, which would be very unfortunate for Ozbol if Ozbol does not drop this East in time.
There's also Sanshoku in the extreme case on the 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, 4 Sanshoku is definitely possible. Ooh, Aka 5-so draw for Miku puts them to a very nice tempo for 1 4-man. Ricci Dora 2.
Scary.
Very scary. Very good draw. Certainly increases the value of their hand by a significant margin. Oh, Ipats Sumo. Very nice Ipats Sumo for Miku. Reach Ipats Sumo. Dora 2. 1 Ura does make it a Harema.
And he gets it.
That is a flying start there for Miku. Oh, double rechance for Ozbol.
Double reach chance.
Doesn't get there, unfortunately. Forte with another 2 Dora, but this time their shapes are a little bit awkward, unfortunately. And Wallaby with a pair of Souths. And not really much else, unfortunately. Could go for a shutdown hound with a South call, but they're not indicating that they will do that. And Miku with 2 Dora and a Haku pair, but unfortunately not really much else. The hand has not progressed all that much, but it could be very expensive.
Not much else, but the red 5 soldier is also very close to the Dora. If he gets the right draw, which is there's only 2 left of, it could become a big hand. I'm not sure what Miku is going for, but with the lead, it could just any win could be enough. Oswald is not taking chances with the Ikzu, which is situationally genius because his player adjacent to him has like 4 of him. 4 of the 4 pins and 6 pins. Wow.
Yes, going for Itsu in this case would have been quite bad for Oz, and thankfully, thankfully that is not what is being done here. Thankfully. I don't really know what's going on here. 1 mana is dropped for Forte. Forte trying to go for the Tanyao, Dora 2, and forcing in Tanyao. 6-0 is drawn for Miku, which makes their hand a lot prettier. And they may even take a Haku at this point, considering that they have the shapes to be able to go for something like Haku Dora 2. 7-pin is offered to Forte, who does decide to cheat it. Still in 2 Shanten for their hand. Wallaby has progressed to Ishanten in the process, but it could be a very Ishanten, and they have 1 Dora, so it could be a very, very cheap hand. It could be just a Richi Dora 1, but that's not too bad. Especially Kanchan Dora 1s are never that awful. Definitely just depends on your playstyle. 2-so is drawn, and they do get into the Kanchan Dora 1 shape, which they do decide to Richi Dora 1 for Richi Dora 1. 2 7-sos left in the wall. Have to see how the other players react.
Oswald has quite a few safe tiles to go with. Even if he doesn't want to fight, he could run pretty well.
So unfortunately, a 5-so was picked up for Wallaby, which would have been an upgrade to the 1-4-7-so weight, but not something they can really know back then. Oswald does pick up another 7-so, leaving only 1 7-so left in the wall. 4-so drawn by Wallaby, who does not decide. Oswald, who doesn't cut it. 6-pin is drawn for Forte, which puts them to Tenpai for 6-pin 4-so for Tanyao Dora 2/3, depending on what they get. However, there is only 1 6-pin left in the wall, so we have 1 6-pin versus 1 7-so.
Oswald is not cutting that Dora, so whether he gets the win or not will probably be completely dependent on Zumo or from Wallaby.
Yes, absolutely. I highly doubt that Oswald in this situation would cut Dora, as it is quite a risky tile, just in general, really.
Oh, 2 of the 6-sos are out.
2 of the 6-sos just came out. And we still have 1 weight for each of these players in the wall. It's just about whether or not they're going to come out. 1 draw left for both of them. See what happens.
Wallaby has high day chance on the last 7-so.
No.
High day?
Oh, no. Looks like the dead wall eats 2 of the weights, and we do have Wallaby and 14 in Tenpai, with Oswald and Miku not being in Tenpai. As we move into East 2-1, with 1 Richi stick in the middle. Dora is the 7-so.
That Richi stick is delicious, and I think Wallaby really wants to get it. His hand is like 2 to 3 away. And even if without the point stick, it would already be a big hand. Dora 2, I think.
It's a bit difficult to... 7-so draw for Wallaby puts them into a pretty large Ishanten, but we'll very, very likely to need to drop a Dora or end up on a 6-so weight, which is not very easy to attain. And it does look like that Wallaby definitely wants to utilize as much of his Dora as possible, cutting the 1-2 pin in this position rather than cutting the 4-man again. Either choosing to rebuild around the 4-man block or rebuild around the 4-man block. Yeah, actually, that's just it. Really.
If he draws the red 5-man, he can now use it to connect the Manchu block. Whereas if he gets the red 5 of Pinzu, he could already have used it. So now his hand is ready to be upgraded if he draws any of them.
Ooh, 3-man draw is very nice for Wallaby. And Wallaby does decide to take the Hanchans 6-so weight instead of the 5-so 4-so weight for Ricci Dora 2. Still 2 6-sos in the wall. And it's going to be very difficult to get this tile off unless Wallaby can pick up a 9-so and create a Nakasuji trap. But still 2 in the wall is quite a good weight in general. It's not bad in terms of the ability to sumo it. Does look like that Miku is folding and Ozball is basically folding. Forte could still maybe push their hand forward, but they'd have to get rid of something in the 2-5-man, which would be a little bit risky, unfortunately.
Miku is playing like he has a lead, and he does.
We see that Miku has progressed towards a Chitoi Ishan 10 if they do decide to cut either the 3-pin 8-so 5-man or 2-man. And they do decide to cut the 8-so, risking the Suji on the 8-so to keep their Chitoi Ishan 10. Nine-man draw is very, very interesting for Forte. Unfortunately, they have basically deconstructed their hand, so it's going to be hard for them to get back into Tenpai. It would have been nicer earlier, and a 6-so is drawn for Wallaby. Reached Sumo Dora 2. Oh, sorry, Dora 3. And that's a nice manga on 2000-4000. Puts them in a very good position to get first place as we enter into East 3. And wow, look at that hand from Wallaby.
He also retains his Ricci stick.
Yes, he does reclaim his Ricci stick, and that he's got a very, very big hand in front of him with 3 Akadora and basically almost perfect usage of said Akadora.
That is a leader to watch out for.
Oh, wow. 4-so draw. They are the front runner for this hand by far. Wondering if any of the other players are even going to be able to get close to winning this. And wow, 5-man draw. Wallaby just progressing their hand forward and forward and forward.
If these players are unlucky, they could be potentially dealing into Haneman or even Baiman just from Ula. Ula 1, I think.
It'll depend on what exactly Wallaby draws to Tenpai. There are a few draws which lose Pinfu. And yes, there are a few draws that lose the Pinfu, but at the very least it's 3 Dora, right? Like Ricci Dora 3, that would be quite significant. Forte gets into
Ricci Dora 3 is already marked down. It gives up the 4-pin pair, so now it's probably Pinfu confirmed.
Wow, 6-pin is drawn, and Wallaby does end up in their extremely ideal weight of a 6-9-4-7-man weight. For Ricci, at least Dora 3. It could be Reach Pinfu Dora 3. Oh, Ipat's Sumo for Wallaby. Absolutely massive reach. Ipat's Sumo Dora 3. No Ura, but a
Yep.
6,000 point all for Wallaby. Very, very nice hand. Puts them into a very solid lead, and the other players have got a lot of work to do if they want to catch up to Wallaby.
Wallaby is having his own party.
Yes, absolutely. Wallaby is definitely embracing the very, very big hands that they've got.
Immediately, Wallaby draws the 5-5-7-9-9 shape, where if he draws the 5-6-7-8-9 souls, any of them, they could get one block with a pair. To use with the North pair is already going to be a good weight if he gets into Tenpai. Well, keeping the Dora also is fighting.
Ozball, even though they're fighting, and they do have kind of the hand for it, the 789 Sanshoku or something to that degree.
Hmm.
But with that with that 6-man draw, they've elected to not leave the 789 Sanshoku possible, but they still could get the 678 Sanshoku and keep the Dora and the Samin-chan in the Manzu shape.
The most ideal case would be if Oswald completes the 1P into a pair, so they could drop like 7-8 set and potentially go for an uncle. But it's tough at this point.
Absolutely. Just to be about whatever draws that they can get. Forte.
Whatever they get.
Yeah. Forte not choosing to keep the Kanchan, still wants to get that Manzu Itsu. Chitoi Ishan 10 for Wallaby. 5-pin draw for Miku puts them into a slightly better Ishan 10 on a 3-6 pin improvement. 8 so is cut for Ozball. 7 so is drawn for Wallaby, and Wallaby is now in Tenpai for Richi Chitoi Dora 1. Waiting for the 1-man, still 2 1-mans in the wall. A very, very nice Tanki. Forte could be in a bit of trouble if they play a bit carelessly and cut the 1-man, but they seem okay right now. Tenpai here for Miku. Do they decide to take it? It would be Furry turn, unfortunately, which is why they elected not to take it. And their hand is still active. It's still possible for them to redraw into Tenpai, but a lot of Tenpais end up being in Furry turn, unfortunately. So, gonna have to see what happens in their hand, if they can do anything about it.
The one of Manju just became Suji, so it's fine. It might come out.
Yeah, the 1-man did just become Suji after that 4-man cut, so Forte could be in a lot of trouble here if they act very careless. For now, though, they've just elected to cut the North Wind, which wasn't actually safe either, but it does pass in this case. 3-man Anko is drawn, and that 1-man is in a lot of danger, and in fact it does deal in.
No.
Unfortunate Richi Chitoi Dora 1. No Ura, but a 9600 point hit on Forte will pad out Wallaby's lead, and it will it will basically knock Forte down to last place, unfortunately.
Forte and also are stuck in the pit of doom. They have to fight their way out. Can you do it?
Well, we're gonna have to find out. So we have a Hatsu Chun pair here for Miku. And they've already pushed themselves towards Ishan 10 if they only need the 2 5-pin or the Hatsu and Chun.
Oswald is quite close to Sang Uncle or 3 concealed sets. is very heavy and slow, which is why we don't see it
Oh.
often. But he instead draws for 10 by
Yep.
on 5 pin 4-7 soul.
Yep, on the Entotsu weight on the 5 pin 4-7 so for Richie Dora 1, but a lot of food. It's probably a 240 on a run, which is always not bad. 9 so is given to Wallaby, who cheese it, pushing their Honitsu only Tenpai a little bit further. 4 so's are all dead. There's still 1 7 so in the wall, and still 2 5 pins in the wall. So Ozball's weight is still a little bit live at this point. 7 pin draw for Forte pushes them towards a pretty decent Ishanten, and they could end up getting into Tenpai. 3 so given to Wallaby puts them to Tenpai for the South Haku for Honitsu Yakuhai on the Haku. So that would be a very, very nice hand for them if they do manage to complete it. Ooh. South is drawn for Forte. Will Forte cut the South? And they do decide to cut the South, dealing into Wallaby's
2,900.
only 2,900 points.
Oh, 2,900.
But including the Richie stick from Ozball is a pretty penny. As we move into East 3-3. Dora is the West Wind.
Forte has a clean score. 0. Oh no.
Unfortunate score for Forte, but as we do know, a dealership can do a lot of damage, so let's not count Forte out of the Hanchan just yet.
A very fierce battle, even before going to South. Oh, not taking the Chitoitsu for Oswald. Oswald knows how to play this hand.
Oswald still can go for a Chitoi. They can still draw the 3-man, 4-man, or 6-0. It's just that they're leaving themselves the option to not have to go for Chitoi. And they can still draw the 6-0 or the 2-5-man and progress their hand in a different direction.
Ooh. Lots of options there. You could cut the Manzi and aim for Honitsu, or you could cut the 1 pins pair and use the 2-sided weight 2569. Opted to go for the queen side, where if he calls on the Chun, he's immediately 10 by.
Although
is it enough?
He doesn't decide to take the Tenpai on the Chun, at least not on the first one, thinking that he might be able to get the second one. But he also might be leaving Suanko chances open.
On the other hand, if he draws the 6-so and Lychee, one of the Chun is already out, so the second one might come out easier because it's live but fewer tiles.
Yep, I agree with that, absolutely. Okay, so we're just still waiting to see how these players progress their hands. They're just a little bit short of being able to complete their hands properly. We see still 2 Shanten there for Miku, still Ishanten here for Forte. Forte probably ideally wants to draw something surrounding the 5-so, but we'll have to see what happens.
Miku seems confused on whether the Itzu is going to come.
We're gonna, Miku just hasn't been able to draw the right tiles. You can see that from his pawn that he's been cutting a lot of very efficient tiles, but it's not the right kind of efficient tiles, especially for someone who might want a larger Tsumo on the first place's dealership to try and have a chance for first place.
On the other hand, he also recognizes that he is too far away from the dealer to get the first place in one take. So he's also defending with holding the 2-so, which is safe against 2 players. As long as he
Absolutely.
doesn't deal in, he could definitely take it the next game.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully.
There is always a chance that they'll be able to just clean up more hands if they don't deal in too large in this situation. So I agree with that. That is a very good analysis of the situation. 6-0 though does make their hand quite efficient, so they do decide to get rid of their safe tile because there is quite a lot of draws with the 6-0 that puts them into tenpai.
Oswald's wave of Dumagiri never ends. Will he get it?
We'll have to find out. Tenpai here for Forte. Ricci is on the Kanchan 6, so cutting the Dora. Unfortunately, at this point, the Dora is... there are no tiles left in the wall, so it will require either Ozball or Miku to deal in.
Miku is probably regretting cutting the 2 of Soju so early, but there's no point going around it. He's going to push, I think. If he draws a 5, 6, 8, 9 Manzu, he could reach you on the 1-4 pin. But if he gets the 4 of Manzu, that Iji is going to cost him the game, potentially.
Absolutely. Chun is offered to Ozball, who pawns it and ends up waiting on the 6-9 so we do have two-person Tenpai to Forte and Ozball going into East 4-4 with one Ricci stick in the middle. Dora is the 6 pin, and already we see that Miku has opened up with a very impressive hand. 1 Dora and a 4-5-6-7-9 so shape, which is very utilizable. 2 Doras for Forte, which is not bad at all. Is discarded. We do see that Wallaby has a 6-7-8 shape and a 1-2-3 shape with a 4-so pair, but unfortunately the Wallaby's hand is quite awful. Not much value, and the shapes aren't even predefined at this point. There's just so much work to do for Wallaby to be able to progress, but I mean, Wallaby's probably not too upset by the lack of a good hand at this point, considering the bedrock of value that they already have. 4-pin draw for Forte does push their hand towards a Tanya, Pinfu, maybe even Ipeiko, Dora 2. A 5-so pair drop for Forte, hoping to build out of the Pinzu shape and go for this like Pinfu Ipeiko or even Pinfu Tanya Ipeiko Dora 2 or something like that, especially on that full man. They are now an Ishan 10 for that. In an ideal Ishan 10 for that kind of shape.
Forte cuts his heaviest set, the 3-5-5, and instead redeems it for a shape that could be Mentang, Zimotang, Yao, Pingfu, with potentially Bacon 2-3-4 Pingze. That's very interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. 8-man pair here for Ozball, who does not need it. It's in a round Ishan 10. What's up?
Only has 1 pair, but it's enough for him.
8-man. Oh, 6-0 Tenpai for Forte, waiting on the 2-5 pin. Does decide to Ricci it, so they are Ricci for Ricci, Tanyao, Pinfu, Dora 2, and if they hit they could hit the 2 pin for the Ipeiko.
That is a really ideal draw, considering if he gets 9 of Sozu instead, he will lose the Tanyao. So indirectly he gains the Tanyao by drawing on the Tanyao side on the 6-0.
3-man is drawn for Wallaby, who now chase Ricci's on the 6-9 pin for Ricci Pinfu Dora 1. If they hit the 6 pin, it would be Dora 2. So now we've got a fight in between our hands. 1, 2, 3. Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 3
Oh.
versus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3
Everyone
versus
is
3
going
times.
for it, I think.
And
Yeah.
there's another Ricci by Ozball waiting for the 6-9 pin as well for Ricci Pinfu. If they hit the 6 pin, it's Tanyao Dora as well. So it can be a Mangan on the 6 pin. So we do have...
Miku does not cut the 2 pin.
Yep.
He avoids the deal-in for now.
Yep. So we do see that we have a 6-9 pin versus 6-9 pin versus 2-5 pin. And he does deal the 2 pin into Forte, dealing into Ricci, Tanya, Pinfu, Peiko, Dora 2. And no Ura, but that's a massive hand for Forte. It launches them all the way up to 2nd place and brings Miku's relatively safe 2nd place down to 3rd as we enter into South 1. And that's going to be very, very nice for Forte, as they're no longer last place at this point, which is really, really good for them.
Miku was playing such a solid game, took a chance, and it really backfired.
Yes, unfortunately, they were not willing to get rid of the South and figured that the 2 pin was safe against 2 of the players, so that it would be of minimal risk. But unfortunately, that's not how it ended up working out. So Miku in this case has 2 Dora going for a North Dora 2 or a North-South Dora 2, depending on what they get. West was pawned off by Wallaby, who's going for a West only to try and skip this dealership. And Forte doesn't really have all too much going on, unfortunately.
Miku's double Yakuhai call really looks like Souzi Hongyizi, but it's not. It's a Pinzi Hongyizi with 2 of the Dora already held. Quite dangerous.
We will have to see if that early 1 pin will trick any of the other players. Unfortunately, that early
14 is cleaning up his Souzi.
Oh, very nice Tenpai
Tenpai.
for Miku, waiting for the 4-7 pin for North-South Honitsu Dora 1. So it will be a Mangan. No, sorry.
Wallaby
Dora
could
3,
use that
Dora
4
3, which would be a
pin.
Hanuman.
Oswald would probably not cut the 7 pin. Oh no.
Very nice
So
sumo there for Miko. North-South Honitsu Dora 3, which is a Hanuman. And that will give Miku back the 2nd place. And unfortunately, it breaks Ozball's last dealership. As well as... it breaks Ozball's last dealership. So his chances of 1st are almost impossible at this point. Very likely that Ozball will try to go for a settling 3rd place of some description.
Which would be from a Mangan to a Hongyizi. From a Hanima. Which he could get if he aims for the 3-4-5 Sanshoku, I think, but it's quite far and usually would not be aimed for. Would he aim for it? I think it could be worth it.
We'll have to see. Yeah, we'll have to see what draws they get and if the draws will allow them to complete in that direction. Yeah. It's not really all too much to say here. It's just...
Wallaby is progressing too fast. I think if he keeps throwing the right tiles like this, he's going to win in no time.
Yeah, it is very, very likely that Wallaby is just going to be able to shut down this hand with a Pinfu only. The shapes are far too efficient for that not to be the case at the very least. 7-man draw for Oz gives them another Dora, so they can try to go for something a little bit more valuable, like a Ricci Pinfu Dora 2 or something like that, but they will need to draw very well and they have to get rid of one of their pairs.
Meanwhile, Miku gets that Yishan 10 on the 7 pin and 2-5 manza.
Although they probably don't really want to let go of the 7-man if they can afford it, and it's a very nice draw on the 6-man, allowing them to keep the 7-man and use it. Now the question is, do they cut the 3-4-man? And they do decide to cut the 3-4-man. They're going for the...
Interesting.
They're going for the Sanshoku. So they're going for the Ricci Sancho Fedora 1, thinking that, oh wow, what an amazing draw. 7-pin draw for Miku, gets them into Tenpai for this. Ricci Dora 1, if they hit the 8-man, it is Sanshoku.
That was
And-
a very comfortable Ricci, and he gets the draw.
He gets the cheaper side, but still a reach Ipatsumo Dora.
Oh no, it's not three.
Dora 1, but hits 2 Ura for a Hanuman. So that is a breath of that has given Miku quite the high odds to be able to go for this first place. Obviously, still quite a lot of work as he has to make up almost a 20,000 point gap. But it's become a lot more possible at this point, which is very, very nice for Miku. 8-man is pawned off for Miku, and Miku's trying to turn his hand to a Chinitsu, I guess. A Chinitsu or a Honitsu, it seems. Probably wants to get another big Tsumo in so that he can close the gap between them and Wallaby a lot more, especially due to the Oyakabari.
Forte was dealer, which means he had to pay 3,000 points more than the other players. And now, Oswald could just use Mangan to overtake Forte. Forte is in Hanchans with the 1-pin South Shanfeng and 357 Souzi with Kan and Liang Kang.
Ishan 10 there for Miku. Can pick up any of the Haku 2-5-man, 4-man, or 5-8-man. Ishan 10 here for Ozball, if they can draw very well, but that 3-pin 8-so shape is quite ugly, unfortunately. 7-pin does put Wallaby into Tenpai for Ricci Ipeiko Dora 2, waiting for the 7-so only. 2 left in the wall.
To be fair, Wallaby could just keep it Dama with the Iveco. But he does have the Dora, so it could be a hand to win.
We're gonna they've probably also wanted to Ricci to exert a lot of pressure, as they can see Miku is choosing to not go for their expensive hand and instead is conceding towards a cheaper hand in order to not deal such dangerous tiles. A Tenpai here for Miku, waiting for the Kanchan 7-pin. 1 7-pin left in the wall. But it'll be a very nice win for them if they can deny this, because if Wallaby wins on this Kanchan 7-so, it is very, very unlikely that Miku will be able to get first place. So winning this hand is quite a pivotal move. Just about which tile comes out first. 2-pin drawn by Oz puts them into Tenpai for the 4-7-so. For Ricci Chun Dora 1. So
if it's Zumo, it could be big enough.
Sorry?
If it's a Zumo, it could be big enough.
Yep. But also just any win here would be fine for Oz. And a very nice Tsumo for Oz. Reached Tsumo Chun Dora 1. Mangan already with no Ura, but a nice Mangan that puts them up into 3rd place. And a small Oyakabari onto Wallaby will bring them and Miku a little bit closer. However, fortunately for Wallaby, it's very likely that both Oz and Forte will go for a cheaper hand, as they will probably try to secure their 3rd/4th placement. So both of the players want 3rd place. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but Miku is probably progressing their hand very directly, trying to go for any sort of win, because they do have the last dealership and they probably just want to win as much as they can in order to settle for placement.
Miku did a really nice comeback from that drop to the 3rd place. It's the kind of play that you will only see here.
7-pin draw for Wallaby edges themselves closer to Tenpai, and a pretty valuable Tenpai as well. However, we're not quite out of the woods yet. Can call for Tanyao too, but that's also not guaranteed. Five-man draw for Forte makes their hand a little bit prettier. Chooses to cut the north. Probably trying to switch towards a Pinfu, I'm guessing. They want to hit enough value that they can actually upset Ozball, but it seems like quite inefficient for them to be getting rid of the north at that point, so I'm not quite sure why. Ishan 10 for Miku, if they can get the 7-so or the 3-6 man east, they will be in Tenpai for Richidora 1, which is not a huge amount of value, but it is a pretty decent amount of value.
Miku could use anything here. Any of the Dora would go in.
Absolutely. 3-so puts Wallaby into Ishan 10, 6-9 pin, 6-9 pin for Pinfu Dora 2 at least, and could be Pinfu Sanshoku Dora 2, or could even be Sanshoku Dora 2 if they decide to call the 9 pin or 9-so and they're willing to go Atozuke. Ishan 10 now for Forte. Unfortunately, Forte is probably kicking himself for cutting that north, because they would have been in Tenpai, and a Tsumo on the Dora would have been enough to upset the difference. Chun is offered to Ozball, putting them into Ishan 10 for Chun Dora 1. Very importantly, a hand just to secure placement. 3-so is drawn for Miku, putting him into Tenpai for the Kanchan 7-so for Richi Dora 1. 6 minus Cheed, and now we have Tenpai for Oz waiting on the 3-6 pin. Is that Tenpai? Oh yeah, there's Tenpai. Tenpai for Wallaby on the 6-9-so, which is taken Sumo for Miku, and that's a huge Sumo. Richi Sumo Dora 1. If they can get 1 Uro, it will be a deal on Mangan. They don't, but very fortunately, they were able to shut out Wallaby's attempts to close out the hand and give themselves another chance to go for the first place. So we're gonna have to see what happens. Hopefully things work out.
It's very timely win too, considering Oswald dropped the south, which was an obvious safe tile to have kept, which meant Oswald would have either folded or have went into Tenpai. Both could have been dangerous for Miku.
As we enter into this 7-man Dora, again, the goals are very similar for every one of the players. Osball just wants to win any hand. Forte wants to win a small-ish sized hand, but a hand nonetheless. And Miku just wants to win. They just want to win, and see if they can snatch the first place by winning enough hands. And that's a very nice draw for Miku, putting them into a pretty nice 2-shan 10 away. Could be Pinfu Ipeko. Probably not Pinfu. It would require drawing some specific styles like the 2-man and the 7-pin. So is drawn and does get cut. No take from Forte. Forte still progressing their hand forward. Does decide to cut the 2-so, going for the 3-4-5 Sanshoku, but keeping the west wind in order to try and have a safety tile, and we can see that Sakigiri coming out again. It's going to be a little bit awkward because a lot of these tiles that are being cut by Forte are tiles which are quite efficient, unfortunately, and by cutting them, they're really reducing their Tenpai chances.
It's also very obvious to the other players that Forte is going for a hand.
Right.
The ideal for Forte would be if he draws the Dora, the 7-man, to get in Pinfu, I think. Pinfu Sanshoku.
Yep. Agree with that. Pinfu Sanshoku Dora 1 would be very, very nice for them. But really, any sort of hand would be good enough.
Each.
Tenpai there for Wallaby, waiting for the 3-6 pin for Richidora 2. 8-man drop.
Wallaby is showing no mercy here for the other players.
Home.
1-man is pawned off for Miku. Miku playing very aggressively for K10 here. Seems like that they're willing to concede not winning the hand, but they don't want to end up no 10 and letting this Hanchan go. Tenpai here for Forte. Will they choose the Tunky Shah or the Tunky 8-man?
Each.
And they do such a Ricci on the Tunky 8-man, which is a hell weight from their perspective. A quite bold play for Forte. Let's see if it works out, but there's only one 8-man left in the wall.
Forte is probably not ready to lose, but from his perspective, picking between 8-man and West, I would have went for West, I guess. West comes out easier than the 8-man. The other players could have been holding it also.
Both of them are hell weights in the end, so maybe they've decided to go for the hell weight, which might have a higher chance. I think that is that's the last 6 pin, and there's only one 3 pin left in the wall for Wallaby. So it was 1 3 pin versus 1 8-man left in the wall. 1 so draw for Miku would have put them into Tenpai if they'd kept their hand moving forward. However, since they've chosen not to, it's going to be very unlikely they can get to Tenpai. Yeah, unfortunately, they won't be able to Tenpai. And we do go to Ryukoku, so we do have Wallaby. We do end that Hanchan with Wallaby in first place, Miku in second place, Osborne in third place, and 14 in last place. Let's see if we can get Wallaby in for an interview.
Forte does not get his points take back, unfortunately.
Okay, so it does seem like Gudetama, Wallaby is coming in, so we're just going to give him the streaming tag. And welcome Gudetama into the interview. Congratulations on your win. Before we get started, is there any moments in the Hanchan you wanted to discuss and talk about? Hello? You were muted if you don't realize.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, not really actually. I was
really?
just lockbox.
Okay. How about let's go through your mindset maybe going into the later rounds when you'd realized that your direct competitor, I think it's this one, when you realized your direct competitor had been getting very, very close to you. So So, what was your mindset maybe going into South 4-1 when you realized that the gap was so close between you guys? Did you want to go for open Yaku, or did you just want to go for the most direct, fast hand?
To be honest, mainly it's that's what's it called? The other team. What's the first thing? Your team actually is so high. It's so I'm thinking like go all in or go home. So I'm gonna try to scab as much points as I can, even though the point difference is so low.
Yep.
That's pretty much why I just keep on going, and going. Just keep on reaching as much as I can.
Fair enough. Well,
otherwise, there's nowhere we're gonna catch you up, catch up to you. 300 points.
Well, yeah, fair enough. I don't really think there was too much to say. There were just some very, very impressive hands, especially this Gorman-chan, the 5-sided weight for Richidora 3 that you managed to Patsutsuma on the 6-man. So it was very, very good Hanchan for you, and getting that nice first firm lead, and then just sort of pressing your advantage into the other players was good.
Yeah, luck boxing. Thank you.
Unistar, do you have anything to comment about the Hanchan?
I think the game was just set from the first few rounds, which was
Fair enough.
spectacular
Yep,
in terms of an audience perspective. It's amazing.
fair enough. Well,
Right.
yep, I guess with that, then we're just going to leave you off. Congratulations on your win, and hopefully we'll see you back on the desk.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So, we're going to have a quick look at the standings before we end the stream today. So we're going to open this up. Let's have a look. This one, yes. So, yep, with 4 games counting, halfway through the final series, we have Atosuki in first place, Powerpuff Boys in second place, Dark Flame, Cursed Totoro in third place, and Water in the Fire on last place. Do join us next week as we continue to find out who is, which team is going to win win this tournament. You know, there's still 4 Hanchans to be played, especially with top heavy Uma. There's still plenty of time.
Sometime next week, I'll be watching too, but I wouldn't be a guest here. I think. See you.
First of all, thank you to Unistar for coming onto the
Thank
stream
you.
and doing some commentary for us. Thank you for just being a part of the process.
It's great fun. See you.
And we'd like to thank the support staff for the stream. So Totoro, SBT, and Cheese. Unfortunately, I think Cheese and SBT weren't able to be here tonight, but Totoro helping score each of the Hanchans and update the sheets. It's greatly appreciated, and we'd like to thank them for helping ARMA League run so smoothly. Yeah, other than that, hope we'll see you guys next week.